If you're over 60 and you enjoy oatmeal in the morning, I want you to listen closely because this may change how you start your day. I'm Dr. Mariah, and after 30 years treating men and women over 60, I've seen a troubling pattern. Seniors trying to eat healthy, but unknowingly combining foods that silently sabotage their digestion, hormones, and even heart health. Oatmeal, while a great source of fiber and energy, becomes dangerous when you mix it with the wrong ingredients. And unfortunately, most seniors do exactly that day after day, without knowing the hidden risks. The problem isn't the oats. It's what you add to them. We've been taught that certain toppings or ingredients are good for us, especially so-called superfoods. But once your body crosses the 60-year mark, your digestive enzymes change. Your blood sugar reacts more sharply. Your hormone balance is more fragile. And what used to be harmless at 30 can become harmful at 60. The mistake I see most often? People piling in fruits, dairy, seeds, and protein boosts thinking they're optimizing health, when they're actually inflaming their gut, blocking mineral absorption, or worse, raising insulin levels first thing in the morning. In this series, I'll reveal the 7 worst foods to combine with oatmeal after 60. Each one might surprise you, but I'll also give you a solution because the goal isn't to scare you. It's to guide you, to help you enjoy oatmeal the right way, so that it supports your heart, your prostate, your brain, and your morning energy. We'll talk about fruits that spike your sugar, nuts that reduce testosterone, milk alternatives that ruin mineral uptake, even the innocent drizzle of honey that can actually trigger chronic joint pain over time. I want you to take control of your plate without losing flavor or joy. Before we dive into the first food mistake, ask yourself, how do I feel after breakfast? Do you crash mid-morning? Feel bloated? Get brain fog or joint stiffness around 10 a.m.? That's not just aging. It's a signal, and your oatmeal might be the messenger. But don't worry. By the end of this journey, you'll know exactly what to keep, what to avoid, and how to build a senior-friendly bowl that actually helps you age with strength, clarity, and balance. Ready? Let's take a look at the first mistake people make with oatmeal after 60, and why it may be the root of your fatigue. For decades, we've been told that refrigeration preserves freshness and prevents spoilage, and it does. But here's the hidden danger. Certain foods lose their nutritional power, taste, and even develop harmful properties when stored cold. And for older adults whose digestion, circulation, and immunity are more sensitive, the effects can be even more damaging. The very foods you refrigerate with good intentions might be dulling your energy, slowing your metabolism, or aggravating joint pain without you realizing it. Many seniors come to me asking, why do I feel more sluggish lately, or why is my digestion unpredictable? Often, the root is not some disease or aging process. It's habitual food handling mistakes, especially refrigerating the wrong things. Your fridge may be home to tomatoes stripped of antioxidants, garlic that's lost its allicin, or bananas whose resistant starches have completely vanished. And worse, these changes aren't visible. You see a healthy-looking food but get none of the benefit. In this series, I'll reveal the 10 common foods you should never refrigerate after 60, and I'll explain why, how they change chemically, and what they can do to your body. More importantly, I'll show you the right ways to store them, so you preserve nutrients that support joint health, blood pressure, immune strength, and brain clarity. If you care about staying sharp, mobile, and energized, don't skip this. Let's begin with the first culprit in Chapter 2. Let's start with one of the most common mistakes I see, mixing bananas with oatmeal. I know what you're thinking. Bananas are natural, rich in potassium, and easy to digest. That's true. But once you're past 60, the way your body processes fruit sugar, especially fructose, starts to shift. When you combine oatmeal, which already has carbohydrates, with a banana, you're doubling the sugar load in one sitting. And what happens next is what I call the silent spike, a sharp increase in blood glucose, followed by a mid-morning crash, low energy, and eventually insulin resistance. Now, here's what's even more concerning. When fructose is consumed in a fasted state, like during breakfast, it gets processed almost entirely in the liver. For older adults, that means a greater risk of fat buildup in the liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, reduced testosterone production, and more inflammation across the board. And yes, for men, this combination can lead to estrogen dominance, something that most don't even realize is possible. Over time, it doesn't just make you tired, it slowly steals your vitality, your drive, even your mood. What's more, bananas are often thought to help with muscle cramps because of their potassium. But when mixed with oats, they can interfere with magnesium absorption, a mineral that's even more crucial for men over 60. Magnesium supports testosterone, nerve function, sleep quality, and blood pressure regulation. So if your breakfast is causing you to lose magnesium instead of absorb it, you're starting the day at a disadvantage, and you probably feel it before noon without knowing the cause. That brain fog, that slump, even those cramps in your legs or back, they may all be traced back to this innocent combo. But here's the good news. You don't need to give up fruit entirely. Instead of bananas, opt for blueberries. They're lower on the glycemic index, rich in antioxidants that fight aging, and they actually help stabilize blood sugar instead of spiking it. You'll still get sweetness, but without sabotaging your hormones or your energy. We'll talk more about ideal toppings in later chapters. But for now, remember, bananas and oatmeal may sound like a healthy duo, but after 60, they're working against you, not for you. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about another morning habit that sounds healthy, but silently works against men and women over 60, adding milk to your oatmeal. For decades, we were told that milk is the perfect food. Calcium, protein, vitamin D, right? But here's what I want you to understand. After 60, your digestion changes dramatically, and dairy becomes one of the biggest triggers for low-grade inflammation, bloating, and hormonal imbalance. Even if you don't feel sick after milk, the silent effects build up day after day, bowl after bowl. One of the biggest issues with milk is its casein protein, which becomes harder to break down with age. This leads to inflammation in the gut lining, and when your gut is inflamed, your immune system is activated 24/7. That inflammation doesn't just stay in your stomach. It travels to your joints, your brain, and yes, your prostate. For men especially, dairy has been linked to enlarged prostate symptoms, urinary urgency, and even a sluggish libido. And for both men and women, dairy can interfere with thyroid function, making your metabolism slow and energy levels crash mid-morning. There's another catch. Milk blocks the absorption of iron and magnesium from your oatmeal. Think about that. You're starting your day with a healthy grain packed with nutrients, but as soon as you pour milk on it, you're stripping away two of the most important minerals for seniors. Magnesium, as we discussed earlier, is crucial for hormone balance and energy. Iron is essential for oxygen transport, brain function, and even mood stability. You may not feel the deficiency right away, but months later, the fatigue creeps in and your doctor starts talking about supplements. Often, it starts right at the breakfast table. So what should you use instead? My top recommendation, unsweetened almond milk or coconut milk. These alternatives are easier on digestion, don't spike inflammation, and allow you to absorb the full nutrient profile of your oats. Plus, they add flavor without sabotaging your body. A simple switch like this can improve gut health, reduce bloat, and support your prostate, all without giving up the comfort of a warm breakfast. In the next section, we'll uncover another healthy topping that's secretly draining your testosterone and blocking circulation. You won't believe how common it is. Now here's a mistake that surprises most people. Adding protein powders to oatmeal, thinking they're making a power breakfast. I see this especially in men trying to regain muscle mass after 60, which is a great goal. But here's the truth. Most protein powders on the market today are filled with hidden ingredients that harm your hormone balance, digestion, and blood sugar stability. What you think is boosting your strength may actually be silently doing the opposite. Let's break it down. Most commercial protein powders contain whey, or soy isolates, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives. After 60, your body is far more sensitive to these compounds. Whey protein, like milk, is high in casein and lactose, two triggers of inflammation and digestive issues in seniors. Soy protein, on the other hand, is rich in phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. For men, that means lower testosterone, increased belly fat, and even mood changes over time. And for women, it can throw off natural hormonal rhythms that are already delicate post-menopause. Even if your protein powder says natural or clean, the processing methods used to isolate the protein strip away vital enzymes and micronutrients, making it harder for your body to recognize or utilize them. Worse, combining a processed protein powder with oatmeal creates a dense, hard to digest meal, especially for those with slower stomach emptying, common after 60. The result? Bloating, sluggishness, and very little nutrient absorption, even if your intentions were healthy. So what's the alternative? If you want to boost protein at breakfast, do it naturally. Add a spoonful of chia seeds, ground flax, or even a few crushed walnuts. These provide plant-based protein along with omega-3s, fiber, and essential minerals without disrupting your hormones or inflaming your gut. They also help improve nitric oxide levels, which support circulation, brain clarity, and prostate health. A clean body starts with clean choices, and your breakfast sets the tone for the rest of the day. Let's move on to another silent saboteur, a spice that seems healthy, but might be wrecking your prostate health without you knowing. You've probably heard that cinnamon is good for you, and yes, it can be. But here's something most seniors are never told. Not all cinnamon is the same, and one type in particular, when consumed regularly in oatmeal, may slowly damage your liver, increase blood pressure, and even interfere with medications. If you're sprinkling cinnamon into your bowl each morning, you need to know what kind you're really using. The most common cinnamon sold in supermarkets is called cassia cinnamon. It's cheap, widely available, and heavily marketed, but it also contains high levels of a compound called coumarin. In small amounts, coumarin isn't harmful, but when used daily, especially in oatmeal or smoothies, it can build up in your system and overload your liver's detox capacity. This is especially dangerous for those over 60, whose liver function and medication metabolism are already slower due to age. Coumarin has also been linked to increased blood pressure and thinner blood viscosity, which can create risks for those taking heart medications, blood thinners, or managing diabetes. What was meant to help regulate your blood sugar can become the hidden trigger for other issues. I've had patients tell me, but it's just a little cinnamon. And I always respond, that little becomes a lot when it's daily. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe in excess, especially after 60. So what's the safer alternative? Ceylon cinnamon, also called true cinnamon. It has low coumarin, a more delicate taste, and still delivers the benefits, like blood sugar support, anti-inflammatory properties, and improved insulin sensitivity, without putting stress on your liver. Check the label carefully. If it doesn't say Ceylon, it's probably cassia. This small swap makes a big difference, especially when compounded over weeks and months. Up next, we'll expose one final topping many seniors add for sweetness that's secretly feeding inflammation and draining your energy. Many people believe that switching from white sugar to honey or maple syrup is a smart and healthy choice, especially when drizzling it over oatmeal. But here's what most seniors don't realize. Even natural sugars can be a hidden threat to your metabolism, hormones, and energy levels after 60. The body doesn't care if it's organic or raw. Sugar is sugar, and after a certain age, its effects can be amplified. Let me explain. When you consume honey or maple syrup, especially first thing in the morning, your blood sugar can spike rapidly, especially if it's not paired with enough protein or fat. These spikes lead to insulin surges, followed by crashes, fatigue, and increased cravings. For men, these insulin surges are linked to lower testosterone production, and for women, they worsen hormonal imbalances, hot flashes, and brain fog. Worse yet, sugar feeds silent inflammation, which directly impacts your prostate, liver, and arteries, 3 systems that need protection as you age. Even more surprising is how these sweeteners can mask your hunger signals and sabotage your breakfast. You may feel full momentarily, but without the proper nutrient density, your body will crave more food sooner, leading to snacking, overeating, and weight gain around the belly. Over time, this pattern can contribute to insulin resistance, fatty liver, and even prediabetes. It's a slow buildup that starts with one healthy drizzle a day. So, what's a better way to sweeten your oatmeal? Use natural fruit like mashed banana, berries, or grated apple. These provide sweetness, yes, but also fiber, antioxidants, and real nutrition that slows sugar absorption. Another option? Cinnamon, Ceylon only, or a sprinkle of nutmeg or vanilla. These support digestion, reduce cravings, and help regulate blood sugar naturally. Your breakfast should fuel your day, not drain it. In our final chapter, we'll pull everything together and share how to build the perfect over 60 oatmeal that actually supports testosterone, energy, and longevity. Now that you've seen the most common oatmeal mistakes people over 60 make, let's build something better. A breakfast that supports testosterone, protects the prostate, reduces inflammation, balances blood sugar, and helps you feel energized, not sluggish. The key isn't just in removing the wrong ingredients, but in intentionally adding the right ones. Let's build the ideal bowl of oatmeal together, and I'll walk you through the science behind each choice. Start with a base of steel-cut oats or rolled oats, not instant. Why? Because these take longer to digest and result in less dramatic blood sugar spikes. Instant oats, while convenient, are more processed and break down faster in your system, leading to insulin surges and fatigue. Steel-cut oats also contain higher levels of beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that supports gut health, heart health, and immune resilience, 3 pillars of senior wellness. Next, add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds. These are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, and lignans, compounds that support hormone balance, reduce prostate inflammation, and help maintain healthy cholesterol. For protein, mix in 1 scoop of unsweetened plant-based protein powder or a few tablespoons of Greek yogurt, if tolerated. This helps blunt the insulin response, builds muscle, and keeps you full longer. For sweetness, choose fresh berries or half a banana. These not only taste great, but also deliver antioxidants and support nitric oxide, which boosts blood flow and combats erectile dysfunction naturally. Top it all off with a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, rich in zinc and magnesium, and if desired, a few walnuts for added healthy fats and brain support. Avoid all artificial sweeteners, processed syrups, margarine, or seed oils. This is more than a bowl of oats. It's a strategic, anti-aging meal that works with your body, not against it. Eat this regularly, and you'll likely notice fewer energy crashes, better digestion, improved libido, and more clarity in your day. Because after 60, every bite matters, and breakfast sets the tone for everything.